This is Meteorologist Matthew East here on this Wednesday morning. Thank you for clicking on to the latest edition of the Carolina weather video. Let's take a look at the radar this morning. I'm cutting this video about 5:25 this morning. And notice we do have some thunderstorm activity still occurring at this early hour in the eastern part of North Carolina. That's actually the same cluster of thunderstorms that moved through portions of the Triad a little after midnight, and then actually prompted severe thunderstorm warnings around the Raleigh area around 3 o'clock or so this morning. And that's that thunderstorm complex that keeps moving off to the east. Severe weather reports, these were mainly yesterday, and everywhere you see one of those green dots, that is where there was a hail report. That was the biggest problem with the severe weather we did have yesterday afternoon and into the evening hours, and still even with those storms that blew through overnight. The storms also produced some gusty winds, and especially the overnight storms. Lots and lots of lightning and some briefly heavy rain. But conditions settling down. There's the satellite imagery this morning. We're seeing some clouds as I'm cutting this video, but sunshine will try to work on in with time today, and the rain chance for the Piedmont coming to an end. The pressure analysis across the lower 48. Notice we have higher pressure off to our west, sort of gathering and building here, and that's just sort of waiting in the wings to push into our area. Frontal boundary sort of diffused, but still a frontal boundary draped across the region, and that's going to be slowly moving eastward with time and ushering in the cooler, drier air. There's the temperatures this morning, and yeah, look at all the 40s in a wide stretching area. I'm going to sort of outline the boundary here of 50-degree or lower temperatures this morning, and that is continuing to gradually sag our way. And we will get into that cooler, drier air within the next 12 hours or so across the Carolinas. Again, pressure higher off to our west. That'll be building in with time, and there's the cooler air. While we're starting off the day relatively mild here across our area, that cooler air just off to our northwest here and waiting to pull on into our area. And we'll have highs today in the 70s, but tonight most of the Piedmont, if not all the Piedmont, down into the 40s. So that push of cooler air really settles in tonight. 500 millibars, there's your big trough at 2 o'clock this afternoon. That's driving the cooler, drier air into our area. Nice ridge out west, nice trough in the eastern part of the United States. At the surface, can't rule out a lingering shower, but again, those chances coming to an end. And notice that's a pretty significant push of cool air, high pressure over the Dakotas. And there comes the cool air draining down into the eastern part of the country. As we get into tomorrow, Thursday, 2 o'clock in the afternoon, nice vortex sitting over the Great Lakes region. That's still a very cool pattern in place across the eastern United States. At the surface, it'll be a great day. We're talking lots of sun, highs struggling to make 70 degrees across much of the Piedmont tomorrow afternoon, Thursday afternoon. Let's go ahead to Friday. And that'll be another day that starts off in the 40s, and we'll be looking at 70s for highs. Saturday at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, lots of sun continues. Highs upper side of the 70s, and morning lows still down into the upper 40s in many spots. Here we are Sunday, new area of high pressure moving down into the Great Lakes region. Sunday we're probably in the upper 70s, maybe around 80 for a high. Lots of sun, still very low levels of humidity. And finally, by Monday, notice that high pressure beginning to push down the eastern side of the mountains once again. So if this holds, this will be sort of a reinforcing push of cooler, dry air as we get toward, say, Tuesday, maybe Wednesday of next week. Most of the modeling on board with that scenario. And also most of the modeling on board with a dry stretch of weather here. No significant rain chances ahead. After we get past that lingering shower chance today, it looks like a dry forecast coming up right on through the next 7 days or so. All right, that's it for this edition of the Carolina Weather Video. Thank you very much for watching. Have a great Wednesday, and God bless.